Investigators are examining new security video of the moments leading up to the death of Sammy Yatim. Toronto police fatally shot the 18-year-old on a streetcar over the weekend. Yatim had pulled out a knife, causing other passengers to flee. CBC's Stephen D'Souza joins me live from Toronto with the latest. I know you've reviewed this new video. What does it show, Stephen?
Well, this new video really gives us the most complete picture we have to date of just what happened, not only in the moment of the shooting of Sammy Yatim, but also in the minutes leading up to it and just how long the whole incident really transpired. It was really only about 5.5 or 6 minutes from the moment where the streetcar stopped and people rushed off the streetcar to when he was shot by police. And in this video, you see Sammy Yatim at one point with his arm outstretched and passengers backing away. Later on, you also see that we believe is a streetcar driver attempting to talk to Yatim. Yatim looks quite relaxed, at one point actually sitting down, but then something changes and he jumps up and the driver rushes off the streetcar. Of course, this video brings a lot of questions to mind. Just what was his state of mind? How agitated was he? Was the situation escalating or de-escalating? These are questions that can only be answered not by the video, but by the witnesses who were there. And the question is just how forthcoming will some witnesses be, particularly the police officers who are at the scene? And that's a question being asked today by Ontario's ombudsman. He is in charge of overseeing the provincial agency, the SIU, which is in charge of the investigation right now. And he has been very critical of them in the past, saying that they often have difficulty getting police to cooperate with their investigations. He gave one interview today, and that was to CBC Radio this morning. Here's what he had to say about the limitations of their investigations.
The cooperation of the police with an SIU investigation is the exception and not the norm. The director of the SIU has written 82 times to the chief of Toronto Police, reporting issues of evidence tampering on the scene, failure to notify the SIU of an incident. Police lawyers, one lawyer representing multiple officers. Police lawyers writing the notes for the officers, even though the police lawyer wasn't on scene. That's not cooperation.
André Marin says he will be monitoring how the SIU handles this investigation and will be taking a look to see whether or not a review of his own from his own office is necessary.
Now, there's also new information, as I understand it, about the officer who pulled the trigger. What have you learned?
That's right. His name is Constable James Forcillo, and he has been on the force for 6 years. He is currently suspended with pay, and what we've heard from various reports is that this is not necessarily a punitive measure, but it's being done in order to allow the investigation to go on without any interference or interaction between Forcillo and other officers. Forcillo is listed as the one subject officer in the investigation, which leads us to believe that the SIU believes he's the only one that's responsible for all of the shots that we heard on the various videos. 22 other officers have been listed as witness officers and will be interviewed by the SIU. Now, while having this name now of this officer helps focus a lot of anger and frustration in the city on one individual, some of that isn't coming from the family of the victim, Sammy Yatim. They're saying that they are not harboring any ill will against the Toronto Police Force as a whole, saying they recognize that the majority do their job and do their job very well. And they're preparing for an emotional few days now with a visitation tonight and then the funeral tomorrow, no doubt expected to be well attended.
Thank you for the update, Stephen. Stephen D'Souza in Toronto.